I'm looking for Southern Kha'Zix. I'm looking for Southern Kha'Zix.
Okay.
Kha'Zix. Cut it out. Cut.
I'm gonna kick an Echo if it goes in.
I vault.
Echo dead. Echo's dead. I'm starting Cut.
I'm just staying in.
I'm not dead.
Go. Dead.
Finish
Get
it.
Elder.
Go bot. End the game bot. We can end the game bot. Go bot. We're faster, right?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final spring split edition of NA LCS tonight. I am your host, David Freak Turley, joined by Sam, Kobe, Hartman-Kensler, and Joshua Jat Leisman. That was an insane final.
Yeah, we got bailed out a little bit because it was 2 games and it looked like we were going to be done at 2:30, and then we got one of the best game 5s I think we've ever had in North America. And that last fight could have played out in so many different ways, but just an amazing ending.
I mean, there were so many different points in that game that could have turned at any point, but it kept so close. It was definitely very exciting.
I think it was one of my favorite just individual games of League of Legends of all time. Certainly, many of the games coming into that were stomps, but that game 5 was absolutely incredible. The whole time you think C9's maybe winning. It's like felt they had pressure on the map, but obviously a well-played fight by TSM. Even going for the Elder Dragon with Baron buff on the enemy team worked out.
Incredibly risky play, actually. The thing with Elder Drake, though, is it doesn't really damage you that much. It's not like Baron, so when you peel off of it, it's generally okay. And I feel so bad for Jensen. The fact that he was the one who ended up getting picked off, but we're going to see some replays from this series.
Yeah, here we go. I mean, we were talking about Hanser for a lot of this, and my goodness, the way he started this series out was absolutely crushing.
Yeah, and you had, I mean, again, the big shoes that Jensen wanted to fill here, right? I need to get out of Bjergsen's shadow. I'm going to go for the play. Misjudges turret damage, thinks he has time for another auto attack. That's, of course, a heartbreaker as well. Cloud9 getting some good plays. Like, this is a really snappy one where you figure they can go for Baron with the jungler dead, and they say, no, let's go for the kills and win the game instead.
Man, games 1 and 2 were a wash. Those things were so incredibly dominant. And then even game 3, it felt like TSM was going to pull it out until the very end. Game 4 is when this series really started getting super interesting because Cloud9 had a pretty dominant game with, you can see the kill score right there.
Yeah, I mean, the Syndra was a big part of this as well, because you guys are talking about, you know, the mid laners. Here we go, though. Let's actually jump to this one, because this was so ridiculously exciting. Ray's trying to stop them off the Elder Dragon, so he just goes in immediately.
And it just doesn't matter, because Jensen got picked off. He got chain CZ. I didn't see for sure if he was stunned the whole time. I know bubble at the end, but I don't know if he was stunned before the bubble or if he just missed that it was coming.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I'm going to watch that fight a lot.
The breakdown with Jat?
We can definitely, you could definitely watch the entire game over again and be very entertained.
Especially the fight.
Especially that fight. That fight you can watch 17 different times and still learn something new every single one of that one.
I will have to.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's all 10 players with full items. It's going to be kind of insane. So, of course, that does mean TSM goes to the mid-season invitational. We will talk more about MSI later on in the show because there's more that happened this weekend. It's easy to forget because of how good this series was, but we had the 5-game series.
The Pigeon came back to win.
Yeah, it's true. You thought it'd be Cloud9 living up in there with the birds, but Phoenix won, right? The Avian team comes through, beats FlyQuest in Game 5. That one was really insane.
Well, yeah, I mean, Phoenix won. They made a really good showing. We're trying to switch over to Phoenix 1 already? You talk about too many birds. Okay.
Yeah. We're going over the third place match.
Bouncing around. Phoenix 1, though, yeah. They made a good showing. They wanted to finish strong because this is a team that's always talked about they're building for summer, right? You know, they were just out of the promotion tournament. Huge spring split for them. Great 2 imports. And they were all able to finish all the way in 3rd place. It's definitely come a very, very long way.
Yeah, definitely one of those building blocks for Summer Split, assuming they keep everyone the same, because Shady had only played a handful of games for the roster, and Inori seemed to be on wobbly ground throughout most of Split with his team. So being able to come back, correct the tilt in games 4 and 5, pretty huge.
Definitely true. Plus, you know, the 3rd place spot, I feel like, is pretty wide open in the North American LCS. Whereas, you know, historically we've always had the CLG, C9, TSM, and then maybe one of the other 4th place team like Dignitas or Liquid or something slotting in there. And it's been these old organizations. This is really the first time where we've had new organizations making a super strong push early on in the year for that 3rd place spot. And it definitely is up for grabs.
Yeah, I like Phoenix 1's organization. They did make a lot of roster changes, but that's because they really just want to keep iterating until they try and win. They're not just going to settle to be middle of the pack. It looks like they're going to keep trying to change until they get better and better. And, you know, hats off for them for being able to pull off this 5-game series. We maxed out in Vancouver. We got all 10 games.
Yeah, it was just beautiful to see. Sadly, Europe didn't go for all 10. They had a 3-0 and a 3-1. Just more proof that NA is better. Europe's asleep. They can't call me out on that one. It's like 2 a.m. over in Western Europe. Either way, though, I mean,
You're
this was
in
obviously
British Columbia for the
yeah.
NBA
Well,
Finals.
that's true. I might have screwed myself over in this one, but you know, shout out to all the Canadians who played very well. We saw earlier that Zig 1v2 double kill under his own turret. We had Wild Turtle do well. Altic got a penta. Like, there's a lot of great players from sort of home court in a way, and if you can call it that, but just the individual play.
Smoothie, he was so sad about losing twice in Canada.
Well, yeah, I mean, someone's got to lose.
There's a lot of Canadians that were here.
I mean, there's Canadians on both teams. Like, someone has to lose.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's always so surprised. They're like, oh, that Canadian, or they're trying to pick the few ones
when like
out.
30% of the players are Canadian
exactly.
anyway.
Yeah, like the North American LCS, a large portion of it is Canada.
Infiltrating North American culture. Just
yeah, NA, LCS, Canada. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's north of America. That's why it's here. That's.
Yep.
I'm going to get
Good
jumped
one,
on.
freak.
And
Good
someone will
one.
say sorry to me afterwards. Okay. Now, well, let's talk about the fact that we're going to move into the Mid-Season Invitational. Third place match finals got covered. TSM are representing NA. And it's funny because so much of it is going to be a rematch of last year's MSI. SKT is back. Flash Wolves are back. G2 is back. Supermassive might be back. Royal Never Give Up might be back. Like, there's so many of the same players, and it's TSM instead of CLG.
There's a chance that the group stage is 5/6 of what we had last time. And then TSM was also there in 2015. But we have the play-in, right? TSM still has to win the play-in because there's a bunch of groups that we drew on Thursday of what used to be the wildcard regions that are going to play, and the best one's going to play against TSM.
Exactly. It's kind of complicated, and not a lot of people have looked at the actual play-in format for this year's MSI, because this year's MSI is so much different. But not only North America, also the LMS have to actually play for their spot. It's not guaranteed like the other regions, and that was kind of judged by how well you've done at Worlds and MSI previously internationally. But yes, first thing on the list for TSM, their #1 objective is actually earn North America's spot at MSI, along with a bunch of these other teams that we're going to go over here for the plans.
Right, so these 8 teams fall down to 2. Those 2 face off against both TSM and Flash Wolves. 3 of those 4 teams make it into the group stage, which will join, again, G2, SKT, and the winner of China. And then it's going to be, all right, there's the 6th group stage.
And it's the same as last year.
Yeah,
so.
and at 6 comes 4, 4 comes down, and, you know, if you want to do CLG proud, you make the finals again.
Yeah, definitely there. I mean, it is set up pretty advantageous for North America and LMS because they previously participated in the MSI.
And Europe, they just get to go.
Well, talking about
in there.
people that have to play in the actual play-ins, and especially Flash Wolves. I mean, they've been so dominating. I think people are just kind of expecting these teams to you know, kind of re-earn their spots, but there's so much to talk about here for especially these guys. They only dropped 2 games.
Yeah,
it's like a one-team league practically.
They played their final last night, and they dropped, I believe it was game 1, and then were able to win the next 3. So really solid year from Flash Wolves. They're returning 4/5 of the same roster. They feel like they upgraded their bottom lane. That seems to be the one kind of revolving door for them now. Betty seems to be a little bit stronger than NL was in past splits, so looking forward to seeing them on the international stage once again.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, Flash Wolves beat G2 in the finals of IEM back in March, I think it was. So a month and a half ago, they said, well, we're better than everyone in Europe right now. And you figure if that happens, then they get through the play-in stage, and that's a top 3 team probably at the Mid-Season Invitational.
I'm definitely looking at Flash Wolves as one of the strong contenders there for second place because, as we all know, SKT
#1
are going, and they're
2
very,
and then TSM is, as we all know,
that SKT TSM finals, the rematch. I assume they played at
the
some point.
rematch. Yeah, so I think they maybe played once at some random IM.
The group stage of Worlds. They were in the, weren't they in the? No, am I just an idiot? I might just be an idiot.
Oh, no.
My history is all gone.
We're making a joke.
Get me out of here.
Falsifying TSM above the SKT, but we're also messing that up. So we're done.
Okay, there are some fans who do believe in us in this one, but yeah. So of course, some amazing matches. Of course, up to be had. The Mid-Season Invitational starts this coming Friday. It's up very, very soon. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be amazing. It's been so much fun being part of the North American LCS Finals. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. It's been a great show here in Vancouver. Stay tuned in Brazil on Friday. The Mid-Season Invitational kicks off. It's going to be a bunch of fun. See ya.